Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is again a quick revision of the topics in embryology. For detailed version, please do watch my channel. We won't be going into the details, we'll be just brushing through the topics fast. So here I'm with the topic twinning and teratogen. So let's begin. Twinning, we know it occurs one in 80 births, and there are mainly two types of twinning. One is monozygotic and the other one is dizygotic. This is a dizygotic twin where you get the two zygotes derived from two sets of ovum and sperms. And here you can see the two fetuses developing as individually, whereas here the placenta is fused, still they are dizygotic twins. When we think about monozygotic twins, they are also called identical or like twins. The occurrence is 3 to 4 per 1000. And here you can get only one oocyte and one sperm. So the fusion occurs and the same zygote will be dividing. As a result, what happens is there will be identical genetic constitution, they will be similar in appearance and structure, and they will be having same blood group. The only difference is they will be having different fingerprints. The reason is the fingerprint pattern are actually gained during its development inside the womb. So it is mainly the environment which decides the fingerprint pattern. So it's not a genetic component. That is the reason why, though they are derived from a single zygote, they will be having different fingerprints. So this is how it is developed. You can see the monozygotic twin, the different options of the monozygotic twin. You can see here it is monochorionic, but this actually resembles a dizygotic twin because though it is derived from a single zygote, you can see there are mainly two chorionic cavities. You have the two amniotic cavities and two yolk sac. Everything, it just resembles the dizygotic twin. But in this condition, you can see that there is a single chorionic cavity but two separate amniotic cavity. But whereas here you can see that there is only single chorionic cavity and there is only single amniotic cavity. So these are the different options with which you will get a monozygotic twin, though it is developed from a single zygote. The difference occurs due to the time at which the single zygote is dividing into two. I have done a detailed session in my channel, please do go and watch. So these are the three options which you get. So first one was monozygotic but bichorionic. So the division actually happened at two cell stage. The next one was monochorionic but still you have the two amniotic cavity. That is due to the splitting of inner cell mass, and this is the most common type where you get the monozygotic twins, that is 70 to 75%. The next one is monochorionic, monoamniotic. The two zygotes will be lying within a single chorionic and single amniotic cavity, and this is because the splitting occurred after the formation of the bilamina germ disc, and this is said to be very rare, and this is said to have maximum complications as well. Now, conjoined twins and parasitic twins. This occurs if conjoined twins happen, this will be due to the separation when there were two organizing centers. And parasitic twins, in this condition, one of the conjoined twins will become rudimentary, whereas the other one will develop normally. So these are the options which you get, and the conjoined twins and parasitic twins, they are actually lethal complications because whereas the rest of the options you can get the two fetuses as two separate individuals, but in conjoined twins they'll be having two organizing centers, and but still they will be fused together, and it's difficult to separate them. Whereas parasitic twins, you will get one as normal but the other one will be rudimentary. Now there is a condition known as fetus in fetu, that is where the parasitic twin is completely enclosed within the body of the co-twin. Then can you, these are the conjoined twins. Depending upon the site of fusion, You can name it as, if it is fused at the thoracic region, you call it as thoracopagus. If it is fused at the lumbar region, you call it as pygopagus. If it is fused at the cephalic region, you call it as craniopagus. So I'm not going into the details. Please do watch the session on twinning for a detailed version. Now, based on the level of fusion we have just discussed, craniopagus if it is fused at the head, thoracopagus if it is fused at the thorax, cephalothoracopagus if there is a fusion of head and thorax, and pygopagus if there is a fusion in the lumbosacral region. Now, this condition is known as dicephalous. There is a single fetal body but two separate heads. And here you can see two heads and two separate bodies, but the heads are fused. That is known as craniopagus. Another condition is known as vanishing twin. That is, in the initial period, if you do a USG, you will identify the condition as a twin, but there will be death of one of the twins in the first trimester. So if you do a repeat USG, you will get only one single fetus. So the other fetus might have disappeared, or sometimes you can see it as a remnant. That is known as fetus papacious. Another condition you can get is superfecundation. Superfecundation means there will be multiple ova discharged in a single ovarian cycle, and they will be fertilized by sperm from two or more different male partners. This is usually seen in polyovulatory mammals. Now, identify the clinical condition. You can see a fetus here, but they are not of the same size. So what can this be? This is known as twin transfusion syndrome. Then there is another condition called superfetation. That is, normally what happens is when there is pregnancy, you won't get the ovulatory cycle. Suppose there is aberrant ovulation during pregnancy, and these oocytes are fertilized at subsequent period. Then what happens is you will get embryos at different stages. So that is known as superfetation. Another important thing is polar body, that is half identical twins. Polar body, half identical twins. We know that after the second meiotic division, you have the secondary oocyte which is fertilized, and you have the polar bodies. So sometimes what happens is the polar body will also be fertilized by one sperm. At the same time, the ovum is fertilized by a different sperm. So these twins share half their genes in common, that is from the mother. The other half of their genes will be from two different sperm cells. But the issue what happens here is the polar body will be having less amount of cytoplasm, and it's very difficult for the embryo to survive. Identical twins, it is said that they share 100% of genes. Fraternal twins share 50% of genes, and half identical twins, as in case of polar bodies, they share 75% of the genes. Coming to the teratogens, they are actually important according to the time of exposure. So stage of development of embryo, the most crucial period are the germinal periods, that is the first 3 weeks, and the embryonic period, that is 4 to 8 weeks, that is considered as a period of organogenesis. Now let's discuss some of the drugs. Streptomycin, if taken, then it will result in deafness or 8 cranial nerve damage. Warfarin exposure will result in hypoplasia of the nasal cartilage, microcephaly, and mental retardation. So you can replace it with heparin. Then phenytoin, if consumed by the mother, it will result in fetal hydantoin syndrome, where you get IUGR, microcephaly, mental retardation, and digital hypoplasia. Valproic acid will result in craniofacial and neural tubal defects. Then thalidomide, it will result in amelia or neuromelia. Diazepam results in cleft lip. Tetracycline will result in bone and tooth anomalies. LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide, that will result in limb and CNS malformation. So, which drug causes this clinical condition? You can see that there are limb defects. So, the limb defects, they are usually associated with thalidomide. Now coming to the chemicals, high levels of organic mercury in fish that resulted in fetal Minamata disease. So this condition In this condition, you get cerebral palsy, which is a neurological and behavioral disturbances seen in a child. Then lead. Lead results in iugia, abortion, psychomotor disturbances, and fetal anomalies. This is a condition known as fetal alcohol syndrome, which is mainly due to a maternal alcohol abuse. Here you get thin upper lip. You can see a thin upper lip, indistinct philtrum with depressed nasal bridge and short nose with joint abnormalities and congenital heart disease. Then radiation. Radiation exposure can result in growth retardation, spina bifida, mental retardations, and skeletal anomalies. Hormones, especially in maternal diabetes, that will result in neonatal death, abortion, and large babies. Progesterone can result in masculinizing effect in female children. Cortisone can result in deformed child with cleft palate. Now talking about infections, you know a set of TORCH complex infections, that is they are T for toxoplasmosis, O for others which include chickenpox, HIV, syphilis, R for rubella, C for cytomegalovirus, and H for herpes simplex virus. Then toxoplasmosis result in hydrocephalus and ocular defects. Maternal varicella chickenpox results in hypoplasia of limbs, eye and brain damage. Retrovirus, that is HIV, results in specific craniofacial anomalies. Syphilitic infection results in congenital deafness, abnormal teeth, Hutchinson teeth, that is a very pathognomonic feature, and bones, there will be defects in bones. Rubella or German measles results in virus infection, congenital rubella syndrome, that is cataract, cardiac defects and deafness. Cytomegalovirus infection, if in first trimester, results in spontaneous abortion. Herpes simplex virus also results in abortion or prematurity. Vitamin A, if given in high doses, damages brain and produces mental retardation. Iron deficiency in mother causes congenital cretinism, stillborn or malformed child. So core of primary mesoderm covered by cytotrophoblast and syncytial trophoblast, we have already discussed it as secondary villus. Then trophoblast with extraembryonic mesoderm is called the chorion. Then amount of maternal blood circulating through intervillus space per minute, that is 500 ml. All are true about umbilical arteries except ventral division of internal iliac, proximal part is superior vesicle, distal part is medial umbilical ligament, ligamentum teres hepatis is the remnant form. So it is not the ligamentum teres hepatis which is the remnant form. Then remnant form of allantoid diverticulum, it is median umbilical ligament. Fetus starts swallowing the amniotic fluid by around 5th month. Polyhydramnios occur due to maternal diabetes, anencephaly, esophageal atresia, all of the above. So all these conditions can result in polyhydramnios. Monochorionic biamniotic twins occur at which stage? If the splitting occurs at the inner cell mass stage, there you will get single chorionic cavity, but still you can get 2 amniotic cavities. So this is just a rushing through the topics twinning and teratogens. Thank you. Thanks for watching.